Let's go. We got one more team in the one more division in the AFC West, and this one should be pretty easy too. Assessing the quarterback situation of the AFC West teams. Tell me the 4 teams that are there. Let's decide who's staying and who's going.
Okay, let's start with the easiest.
There will be zero
Kansas City
movement
Chiefs.
in the Kansas City Chiefs. Patrick Mahomes is going nowhere. We got a comment out there. Russell Wilson should just move over to the Colts. We'll talk about that situation when we get over to that division, Russ. Hans, stick around. By the way, if I'm saying your name wrong, I apologize. I don't know if it's Hans or Hans. I'll just keep calling you Hans, and hopefully it doesn't offend you. But go ahead. So we're skipping over Kansas.
Hans.
It does, right? It sounds like a little more movie starish. We'll skip over KC. KC's not moving anybody. Who's next on the list?
Okay, so another easy option, Los Angeles Chargers.
Not going to do a darn thing. That quarterback last year played incredibly well.
Yeah.
To me, he looked like a 5-6 year pro. The way he moved around in the pocket, the way he grasped everything that was going on, I was incredibly impressed by him. Not going anywhere. Chargers stay pat.
Yeah, it's time to build around Justin Herbert though to improve that offense.
100%.
Okay, next option, AFC West, the Denver Broncos.
I think the Broncos have had their chance to kind of play around with the quarterback that they have, Locke, and I don't think that he's the guy. I think they're pretty sure he's not the guy. The one thing that the Denver Broncos do have is they have a lot of skill players around him. So if you were to bring in someone that had a little more skill, you might see a whole different offense. Now, I think there's a conversation to be had. Look, Drew Lock played really a year and a half. He had a lot of injuries. He didn't get a chance to really play enough. He had moments of, wow, he's pretty decent. Had no defense this year. Defense had a lot of injuries. Can he turn it around and become the quarterback? I don't know. I guess if you're in Denver, you probably think no. If you're a Denver fan, you think no because you haven't seen it. If you're a Denver hang on, I got this fun comment's hilarious. If you're a Denver, I can't even talk about it. I got to show you this comment out of the comment section. Laugh out loud. If the Chiefs change their quarterback, I will sell my children and burn my wife because it's never going to happen. And then the comment,
Hans.
Hang on. And then the next comment is from not LeBron James, and it says, "Your wife better not be watching this show."
Indeed.
That's hilarious.
High stakes.
Oh, that's awesome. Okay. Sorry. Okay. Just go to the next team.
Okay, so just a quick comment about the Broncos. I believe that Drew Lock is not the guy for them. He has played enough not to be that guy. And the bonus for the Broncos is they have the 9th overall selection this year, this coming draft, 2021 draft. So they're picking 9th. So I guess that's a good enough position to be able to get a young prospect quarterback. But if they get a prospect quarterback, I believe that they will get a veteran, sort of a bridge quarterback to develop this young quarterback. So I guess they are looking at somebody like an Andy Dalton to spend a season or two in Denver to be that bridge quarterback to buy enough time for that prospect that they're getting at 9th.
Okay. Well, look, they do draft 9th. There is an opportunity for them. I don't know what's going to be available at 9. You've seen a lot of mock drafts. I mean, I saw a mock draft from I forgot his name at ESPN. Not Mel Kiper, but the other guy whose name is slipping my mind right now. But he had the 5 quarterbacks going in the first 5 picks. Now, I don't think that's going to happen. Wow. But you might get to 9, and those top 4 or so guys that you really value might not be there. So it's going to be interesting. That's going to be crazy to see who's going to jump up and try to get those quarterbacks. I'm still laughing over what those guys said. What's the last thing on there? Well, last team in this division.
Okay, last team in the division is the Las Vegas Raiders.
Hang on. Florence just jumped in and said a QB and a wide receiver duo for Broncos. I think the Broncos are pretty decent at wide receiver. I think they definitely need a quarterback, though. Yeah,
they do already have Jerry Jeudy. So he was drafted this season, and he did show promise for Denver.
Yeah, he was very good. Very good. And their number 1 wide receiver last year, actually, I don't know if he tore his Achilles or his ACL, but I want to say from like game 4 on, they really didn't have their number 1 guy. So they really haven't had they have a good tight end, Noah Fant. They've got the weapons. They've got 2 decent running backs. Their offensive line's okay. Like, they've got the weapons. That's what I was saying before. I do think they have the weapons to play. They don't have the quarterback. You brought up the Oakland Raiders. So the Oakland Raiders are really interesting. I just saw a report, I believe it was earlier today or maybe it was last night, that they were talking about moving their quarterback to Chicago. Now, I don't know why the media is constantly obsessed with Derek Carr being moved somewhere. That's the story all the time. That John Gruden's upset, doesn't want Carr to be there anymore. I don't know if that's actually true or not. I don't know. I've never seen a moment where they have a problem on the sideline. I've never seen Gruden speak poorly of him. So I don't know where that story continues to come from. But I think Derek Carr is an okay, decent quarterback. He played pretty well at times last year. Did he play awesome all the time? Well, not really. But I will say this about the Raiders. The Raiders don't have a lot of weapons. And that's why their tight end is their best wide receiver. Because they just don't have the players that they need. So I think it's a difficult situation in Las Vegas. Let me ask you this. If they're going to trade Derek Carr and you think that Deshaun Watson is a value of 3 first-round draft choices, Deshaun Watson is 3 first-round draft choices. And Carson Wentz, you think, oh no, who did you say was a second rounder? Oh no, you said that from the Jets is Sam Darnold.
Yeah, Darnold.
Darnold is a second rounder. Yeah. So now we've got the top of the market right now. Top of the market, Watson, 3 first-round picks. Darnold, bottom of the market for starting quarterbacks right now to trade for, second-round pick. Where do you think Derek Carr fits? Does he set a new bottom, or is he slotted above Darnold? What's your opinion?
I guess he will be slotted above Darnold. So the ceiling that I see for Derek Carr is 1 first-round draft choice, if not 2 second-rounders. I guess that's a fair deal because he's relatively young enough, so he can still function well for a few more years. So I guess 1 first-rounder is enough. Yeah, early 30s.
Early 30s. So let's say he's got. I mean, look, you look at a quarterback like that. Let's say Carr's 31, 32, which is like where I think his age is. You get 4 years out of him, maybe. So is it worth it to me? I look at that. If I'm a general manager, I'm like, let me see. I can have 2 assets for 4 years, or I can give away those 2 assets, those 2 second-round picks that'll be on 4-year cheap contracts. I could trade away those 2 assets that I'll have for 4 years each on cheap contracts and trade them away for a guy that I only get to have for 4 years. That guy plays the most important position in football. I don't know, man. But he's got to be the guy. Even at 2 second-round draft choices, Derek Carr has to be the guy. And I don't know. Yeah. I guess I'll ask you, is he the guy?
Well, given his performance with the Raiders, I believe that he can do more if he has the weapons, like you've mentioned. I mean, Darren Waller is a beast at tight end, but outside of him, they don't have really deep threats in that system, in that offense. And I guess that, again, given better weapons, that he can light up the scoreboard.
Well, I guess my thing is also you're bringing him into, like, let's just say he's going to go to Chicago. What the hell does Chicago have to offer? They're going to lose their best wide receiver. Like, they don't have a lot going on there either. Well, I'll tell you what, we're going to move over and we're going to talk about the NFC. But before we do that, the chat's been great today. You guys are out there. You guys are listening. For those of you listening at home, obviously later on, you're going to listen to this podcast. You don't know what's going on. We got some really funny people in the chat today. This has actually been a lot of fun. Before I do that, we have one more comment over here from somebody saying, I think the Raiders can give Carr another year and good wide receivers and two more running backs. Well, that one's a lot.